Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the South Bay Syndicate. As we're all preparing for the sector upcoming this weekend in Arizona, it seems like FFG is preparing for a lawless time to come fast because this week we got a lot of new cards, including our first new leader of the set. You can see here it's Hera, kind of a throwback to the first set. Rebel, Twilight Spectre, great tags there. And then while you control two or more units, ignore the aspect penalties of heroism units you play. This is a very interesting one. We've seen a couple of different versions of the idea where you can ignore aspect penalties. I think Mal and Mothma in the last set, the original Hera, Nala, and really two or more units doesn't feel like a big tax. There are a lot of smaller units now, a lot of ways to generate spy tokens and other things like that. So I do think you'll be able to take advantage of something like this. And then if we look at the flip side, it comes out as a at 5 as a 3/6, has restore 1, which is nice add-on, and then continues that same piece. So I think when it is deployed, I think a 3/6 for 5 is pretty standard. Like Asabe is a 3/6 with raid 1. This has restore 1, which can be popular. There are a number of other heroism command cards with restore. There's sentinels with typho that you can put around to protect this leader to make sure you can take advantage of it. So I do think it'll be interesting as we see more cards come out, especially dual aspect cards that could really take advantage of this. If it'll be a worthwhile leader, I do think in limited, it'll be very popular because it'll open up your deck a lot more to the different cards that are out there, and there'll probably be less removal. So your chance of having two or more units will definitely be there. I also think as we review the rest of the cards here, you're going to see this Rebel tag show up a lot. So you're going to see a lot of synergy with Rebel right away with Phantom. It's a 2 cost 2/2 on the heroism side. And when played, you may play a hero unit from your hand, paying its cost, and give an experience token to it. So we don't really, a 2/2 for 2 in space isn't that big. I do think later in the game, this can be valuable. Just a chance to get something in space while buffing up one of your other units can have some value. Again, in limited, I think you can see a lot of play. We haven't seen a lot of space units from the set yet, as there are not a lot of cards out, but also Rebel and Spectre, so a lot of different synergies there. Now, this is where a lot of it can come into play together. A 5 cost upgrade is a lot, right? Attached to a non-vehicle unit. Attached unit gains the Rebel trait, and each other friendly Rebel unit gets +2/+2, and this gives that unit +2/+2. So this on Hera seems really good. This on other units seems powerful. If you're able to go wide, this can boost a lot. If it's just that one unit, probably not as valuable. But there are also other cards in the previous set for Secrets of Power that give other units the Rebel trait as well. So you're starting to see some synergy across sets with Rebel and attachments. So you can start to do a lot of work if you're able to go wide with this. Our our next Rebel Spectre unit is Ezra, and this is a dual color card. The first one we're looking at today. This seems like a great card, right? 4/5 for 4 with raid 1. Very good stats, very strong. Something you wouldn't be sad to put out on the board. When played, you may heal 2 damage from a unit. If you control a red or yellow unit, you may heal 4 damage from a unit instead. This synergizes well with the Hera leader, right? Because that's the best chance you're going to have these other aspects in play. And I think this dual aspect type card that they're introducing with the set is an interesting one where you have a kind of a penalty, right? Because you have to play both of these aspects. So are the cards going to be powerful enough to overcome that penalty? I think in this case, yes. And then it'll be interesting to see as we look at the other cards that come out. Will it follow that pattern, or will we see some weaker cards, and how will we balance it? But very excited for Ezra. I think it can be played in the Hera deck clearly, and then also will have benefit in other heroes and blue-green decks. One of the other cards revealed today is this Ben Solo. This is a Heroism red card, a 9 cost, so pretty heavy cost, especially for red where you think it's more aggro. It's an 8/8 that's hidden. When played and when defeated, ready another friendly unit. It can't be attacked this phase. I'm not sure about this card. The art itself is a little odd. The cost is very high. I'm not sure where you're playing this card or what type of deck. It is interesting to see Force Ben Solo. One of the things that comes to mind as rotation hits, will we have enough ramp ability with a deck like Avar maybe to get this out earlier? Or because you can cheat it with the consular and some of the different ramp aspects that come into the green side of things. But as you look at this legend, it does seem like a lot. If you're able to get it out, though, it could be a game ender, right? Think about, say it's an Avar deck, right? You have Avar out, you attack for 8, you play this, you ready Avar again, attack for another 8, that could be a game ender. So I think that's where it can play a role, and it's hidden. So in theory, if you do go to another round, you should be able to get an attack in with it. We also saw Ray, and you can see Ray is an 8 cost 9/9, so one less cost, a little higher stats. Opponents can't take control of this unit, and this unit can't be defeated by enemy card ability. So very interesting. 8 cost for green heroism. You definitely see it in the Yoda deck today. You see it with Han too, but those things are all going to rotate out. So again, like, how do you get to 8 cost? And if you do, this definitely looks very powerful, and it's Force Jedi, which is nice. Not sure how much it's going to get played, but we don't know what else is out yet, right? So there could be other ways to cheat out resources, to cheat out units, and then this could have a place in synergy with Legends of the Force. Something to be determined there. We also saw this putting a team together plan card, one cost event. Search the top 8 cards of your deck for any of these other aspects, reveal it and draw it. This can be very good in a number of decks. The Hera deck, obviously, because there's a lot of different cards you can pull. In any command deck where you're running one of these other aspects, could be a chance to get another card, get some draw, one cost. I think it'd be very popular and limited, and we'll see if it gets a lot of play in constructed. From there, we have another dual aspect unit, another Force Jedi Rebel Spectre. So you're seeing a lot of these pieces come together. There's a Kanan Jarrus, 4 cost 3/4 with restore 1. This is one where just before we read the rest of it, it's like, okay, 4 cost 3/4 restore 1. Is that enough? Probably not, right? When you think about those stat lines, they're not really getting too much out of it. But when it's played, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 2 or less to its owner's hand. If you control one of these other aspects, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 4 or less. So there is a bounce effect to go with this. We have seen this in some other cards. I think a Balin Skull from Legends has a bounce effect as well if you use the Force, and that's a 4 cost 5/4 maybe. So the stat line is a little bit different here. Not sure about this card. I think, again, in limited, if you have Hera as a leader, another great card to pull out, and the restore for both of them works well, but I'm not sure this will get as much play. On the other side, here is another Force Jedi Rebel. This is a Luke Skywalker, 7 costs, red, yellow, with 9/7. So 7 costs 9/7. When played, an opponent chooses one. They create a credit token, and you get to ready this unit. You may deal 5 damage to a unit is the other one. So it'll be really interesting for this card with how you're sequencing it. You don't want this to be the first card you play on a turn, because in theory, you giving them a credit token will let them cheat out something for 8 or more. Also, they could take the credit token and then use removal to immediately get rid of the Skywalker. So you don't want to do that. You definitely want to make sure you sequence it in the right way, where they have to choose in a way where this can stay on the board and possibly do some damage. It's nice to see another Luke card, a little bit different, definitely different aspects, but Hera could bring this out, and it's a 9/7 for 7, so it definitely has some power if you can get it to stick on the board. And we see a little bit of a different art variant here, probably with the prestige art. And now we go next to another Force Rebel, and I think these are some of the cards that got revealed today, and they have a lot of interesting synergy. 6 cost 8/6 Saboteur. Already that seems great. If you think about some of the cards we just looked at and some of the concerns about dual aspect cards, no concerns here. 6 cost 8/6. That's a pretty powerful unit at a reasonable price. When attack ends, if this unit dealt combat damage to a base, you may heal 4 damage from another unit. So not only is it a 6 cost 8/6 with Saboteur, at the end of its attack, it has another ability. So this seems like a very positive card, one that people will definitely be trying to work into their decks. I'm excited to see how it plays out. And I think it got some help and some synergy from some other cards. First off, there's this upgrade attached to a non-vehicle unit. When played, deal 1 damage to easily up to 3 different ground units. We've seen a lot of upgrades like this. This is another probably limited star, right? 3 costs, 3/1, lets you do damage across the board. I don't know if it'll see a lot of play in constructed, but in limited, you'll see this everywhere. And you'll see it on this unit. So Here's another compliment. Another rebel, 7 cost 6/8, sentinel. So you're putting a blockade out there, and when 1 or more damage is healed from this unit, you may deal that much damage to a unit. So if you think about 2 cards ago, here's a Chirrut, comes out at 6, 8/6, able to attack. And when that attack ends, you can heal damage. Has Saboteur, so nothing can stop it. Say you have Baze out, he gets hit. Then you attack with Chirrut, then you heal him, and now you have this wall up and a big hitter. So a lot of nice synergy with the Rebel tags. Very interesting set of cards that they've produced today. Really excited about the new set and to start to see some of these things coming out. And as more comes out, we'll start to do some test videos for these new leaders. I was always a fan of Hera from set 1. It was really hard to get it to work right, but it'll be interesting to try the new Hera and see what we can do there. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you. Have a great day.